Hey guys, Wolfie here and welcome back to the channel. As always, the usual disclaimer, any opinion here is mine and mine alone. Now this is a RWBY video and I'm going to have a couple of links in the description below. One of them is a link to the Crunchyroll trailer for Volume 9. The other one is from RWBY because he explains a lot about RWBY, Rooster Teeth, and Volume 9 in ways I can never try to replicate at all. So there are going to be a lot of questions, and he's probably going to be one of the better people to, help explain it, if that makes any sense. And I do have my, RWBY notes in this notebook right over here. So, I tried filming this a few other times. I actually had a version of this ready to post, but, for reasons I'm not going to publicly disclose, I just didn't feel comfortable with posting that particular version. So that way, we're going to go into Volume 9 and the other things that RWBY mentioned in his video and my take on all of this. So what do we know about Volume 9? Now, with Volume 9's release date is in a few weeks, the 18th of February. The time, it goes live on Crunchyroll, and I do want to bring up that it is a timed exclusive to Crunchyroll because around the 18th of February next year will be available on Rooster Teeth's own website. And I think it's a matter of if you really want to see RWBY, you have to pay the money to do so. Because Crunchyroll really is not into pirating their stuff. So we do know it's the 18th of February for Crunchyroll of this year. Then the 18th of February of next year will be on Rooster Teeth's site. So and again, like I said, it is a timed exclusive. So that we don't know the release date, we know it's a timed exclusive before it goes on to Rooster Teeth. We also know that it's going to be 10 chapters altogether. No mid-season breaks. And, let me see here. I'm looking at my notes here. That's about, that's about all I could say, in that regard, the dates, times, aspects, all that stuff. Timed exclusivity, too. Now, RWBY also mentions in his video, and again, I'm going to be referring to that video. Add the link to that video in the description below. So he mentions a lot, varying things about Rooster Teeth, the fact that what we do know about Volume 10 is that the script for it is being written. However, Volume 10 has yet to get the green lights. So that's from RWBY's Part 1. And then another thing I want to mention here is the trailer itself, the new one, not the one we remember from Rooster Teeth. This is the brand new one. Now, I'm going to go over a few scenes and what I'm interpreting them as. So, one of the things I've noticed is that RWBY is maybe away from the rest of the team. Meaning that we may see some soul searching from RWBY herself. Because there's a part mentioning about Ruby Rose. What or who does she leave behind? And I do feel there is some intense soul searching, as well as RWBY's second trial by fire. Now, I originally thought this was going to be Weiss's trial by fire because, RWBY. However, it does look like more RWBY's second trial by fire, meaning that it's about identity. It's who does she leave behind? What does she leave behind? And something tells me that it involves Jean. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that we don't really see Jean at all in the trailer. Outside of looks like some odd looking armor, we simply don't know where he is or if he is even alive. Now, in the trailer, we do see Neo. And I think Neo is probably going to be realizing she got duped by Cinder. And we also know that in Volume 8, Emerald switched sides. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Neo, how do I want to say this? I wouldn't be surprised if Neo somehow, at some point in Volume 9, eventually switches sides, being pro Cinder or whatever, to RWBY's side, to fight for good. And the reason why I feel, we may see another switch, it's like, how do you stop Salem? And sometimes you have to go after certain people tied to Cinder. Because you look at Volume 8, Emerald switched sides. Volume 9, we might see another person switching sides. And this time, it's Neo. And Neo, if she were to switch sides, I do think Salem and them might be in some big degree of trouble. That's just how I am. That's just how I feel about the matter. So I do feel that we're going to be seeing a second person switcher from bad to good, and that's Neo. Now, I do feel that Volume 9 will have some confirmation of Jean's fate. Because we did get a confirmation of Ironwood being dead at the end of Volume 8. Now, I do feel that Jacques is dead. Watts is also dead. I do feel those two are dead. I do think that we're going to see, I think with the Aesops, I think that's the name of the group. Now they're down to 3 people. They're without their leader, and I forgot that guy who, I think he sacrificed himself. I think he's the one that, he's gone. Now we're talking about the last 3. Harriet, I forgot that chick's name, and Marrow. But, I mean, even with that, I think Marrow's, he's, pretty much Team RWBY and all that stuff because of Winter. And Winter, being Weiss's older sister. Now, regarding, everybody that is still on Remnant, I'm not so sure if we're going to be seeing anything further regarding, anything, with those characters. But if it does, it's going to be kind of minor in my personal opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if Winter's role becomes a little bit bigger. Regarding Ren and Nora, I previously did say that there were going to be a few eventual deaths. However, what has me changing my mind here in this particular regard is Penny, because we do know that she is dead in Volume 8. And I think with Penny, she took on 2 fictional character deaths, meaning Mulan, the literature version, mind you, as well as the Norse god of thunder, Thor. And to reiterate, those fictional deaths, meaning that Mulan and Thor, he was quote unquote bitten by a poisonous snake, and depending on the version you read, he supposedly comes out victorious, but pays the ultimate price with his life because that poisonous bite turned out to be fatal. So that's where the whole thing with Cinder, it's where she attacked Penny like that to try to get the Winter Maiden powers. That's kind of where that's the poisonous thing. That's the poisonous bite. Now, the literature version of Mulan, and it's a really sad story with the literature version of Mulan, is that, and again, I could get some of this wrong for all I know, is that Mulan, unfortunately, is forced to live a life, to live a certain way, the way that she didn't want to. So, one of the last things she does is that Mulan sent a letter to her sister. The letter is from somebody else. And then somebody else is their feelings for a particular individual. So, after that letter gets sent, Mulan asked somebody to kill her because she didn't want to live a certain lifestyle. That's not who she is. And therefore, the request was granted. She dies like that. So with Penny, she asked John to kill her because she wanted to send a quote-unquote letter to Winter, and the letter contained the Winter Maiden powers. Therefore, she saved Winter by sacrificing herself. So it's one of those things where it's like, I feel Penny took on two fictional character deaths, meaning that Mulan, which is the basis for Ren, and Thor, the basis for Nora. And because of Penny's, the way she died, Nora and Ren will live on in the series. So that's, and the reason why I bring this up is because Penny's image it's on something on RWBY. So it turns out that the whole thing with Penny might be a factor in what RWBY has to leave behind. And this particular trial by fire for RWBY, Penny and possibly Jean, maybe things she may have to leave behind. The memories, the people, that sort of thing. And we also know that in the trailer we see Weiss, Blake, and Yang probably being separated from RWBY at some point. Although in the other trailer we do see RWBY being reunited with the rest of the team. So again, we may see Jean's fate being revealed in Volume 9. He may be one of those that RWBY has to leave behind. We simply do not know for sure. When it comes to romantic ships, I honestly do feel we may see a change in a potential ship becoming canon. And by that, and this is my personal opinion on the matter, a very popular ship to what some people would say is a rare pair. The popular ship is Bumblebee. But we may see a shift to Monochrome or Checkmate, because Monochrome and Checkmate are very much one and the same, becoming canon. Now, we know that Blake and Yang makes a Bumblebee. It's the most popular ship in the fandom. However, there's a very amount of evidence, not just in the artwork, which includes that poster right over there, but the trailer predating Volume 1. Because the hints that we've been given on who becomes canon come down to one particular piece of information. It's a slow burn. And when it comes to a metaphorical slow burn, you can't really think much more of that type of thinking than Checkmate / Monochrome. And that is Weiss and Blake. Now, I'm going to give a very brief synopsis of why I mentioned the trailer predating Volume 1. And more specifically, it's Blake's trailer. Because the reason why that trailer is a bit more symbolic, because in Volume 1, Chapter 15, the second to the last chapter in the first volume, Weiss brings up the actions of Blake's trailer. And for some reason, Weiss let Blake and Adam go. That's something for people to think about. But anyway, like I said, I do feel that we may see a change in a romantic ship becoming canon from Bumblebee, because that's where a lot of people are talking about, to Monochrome. And again, some of the evidence comes back to that Blake's trailer predating Volume 1. But like I said, that whole topic, what I just gave out, like the brief version of it, it's a completely separate video because there's a lot to go into that one, in my personal opinion. However, we're going to go back into Volume 9 and beyond. Now, Murderer Birds mentions in his video that when it comes to Volume 10, again, there's a script ready to, that's being written as we speak, but we have yet to see the green light for it. And I don't think we're going to see a green light for it anytime soon, because the animation department did not have their contracts renewed, which brings the show itself in jeopardy for that reason alone. If you don't have an animation department, you really can't do much with the script. That's just how I feel. And it's just like, even if there is a new animation team coming in, will they bring the same quality from the previous volumes? Knowing that Volume 10 is probably going to be an outfit change. Because you look at Volume 4, we do see some aspects of the outfit. Actually, I wouldn't say it. We do see a full-blown outfit change. Yay, more than once. Wise Mate has a little bit of adjustment in Volume 6, as does Blake. So we do see 3 of the 4 members of Team RWBY, have some format of an outfit change more than once. So again, the whole animation department, I do hope we hear something about that soon. And this is the whole thing with Crunchyroll saying that they're going to be the home of all future RWBY content, which includes Ice Queendom, Chibi, Tales of Remnant, so on and so forth. Now, let me see here. Let me see if I have my notes here. Okay, so it looks like here I'm actually done with the notes aspect of the videos, because I went through everything that I could from my own notes. So what do I think about all this? Now, this whole thing not having a single mid-season break, I mean, I'm interested to see, how it plays out. And my biggest concern, and this has been the case for at least the last few volumes, is, believe it or not, the execution of the final product. Because you can have something well written, or the animation being so good, but if it's not executed in a way that makes sense, then none of it matters. And this is why, more and more people are getting a little more critical of, RWBY like that way. Because it's like, you can have a good script, or in this case, a questionable script. You can have great animation, but if it's not executed correctly, and by correctly in a way people can understand easily, none of it makes any sense. And that is my biggest concern. Now, with Volume 10 and beyond, I mean, granted, we may see more of RWBY, and again, with that whole time to exclusivity to Crunchyroll. But when it comes down to very things like finances, the animation department, it's just like, I cannot help but wonder if this is a case of too little too late. Because it's like, you can expose more people to certain things, but it comes down to, is there a backup plan in case things go south? And if there already is, why was that not executed sooner? So I'm going to check my time one last time. It looks like I'm making better time than I thought. But to give my final thoughts on Volume 9 and beyond, it's like the trailer, the Crunchyroll trailer, which will be in the description below. The Crunchyroll trailer, it gives some degree of promise. It just comes down to the execution of the final product. And the reason why I say it comes down to the execution of the final product is because it's like, as I said before, you have great things, like the elements are there, great, but if you don't execute it in a way where it's like people can easily understand and it's consistent, none of it matters. And I personally wish, Rooster Teeth had gotten on a partnership with somebody like Crunchyroll sooner than now. And my biggest concern above all is the animation. Because we don't have an animation team, supposedly, for Volume 10 and beyond. And it's going to have to take either the animation team from Ice Queendom, which is the Japanese side of it, to possibly carry on the work. And we just have to wait and see if Volume 10 really does get the green light. Because if it doesn't, then I think the entire future for RWBY as an entire franchise will rely on Ice Queendom, as opposed to the main show itself. And that's all I really have. Let me see here. Let me see something real quick. I wanted to show a little bit of Sandy here before I finish this video. And now I'm done with Wolvie here. Signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.